Good morning, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. I came across a really interesting article dealing with the hardwood industry, and now I'm more of a follower of the softwood industry. The softwood industry is more about the construction end of lumber, the 2x4s, the beams, the things that you actually construct a house with. The hardwood is more about like the cabinets, the doors, the flooring, stuff like that, the trim, the things that are more decorative parts of the house, or the hardwood industry, the furniture, things like that. Now, China has hit the hardwood industry with a 25% tariff. It has decimated the hardwood industry. Now, the difference between the hardwood industry mills and the softwood industry mills is the softwood industry mills are generally huge. They're big operations. They are pumping out major amounts of lumber. And the softwood industry is more about family, small, oriented places where they're kind of located closer to the timber, which is generally privately owned. The timber here in my area where the softwood industry is vast. Like, you can drive through the tree farms for miles. You can do it all day and never be out of it. And the softwood industry is generally kind of like smaller isolations, and so they have like kind of a more of a uniqueness to them as far as the size that they are. So generally they're smaller operations. Now, this is what it goes on to say. When China slapped a 25% tariff rate on red oak logs lumber, it created the price producers can get for red oak. That's a huge chunk of demand that's disappeared. Now, this is Trip Pryor, spokesman for American Hardwood Export Council. He goes on to say, this drop is larger than if all of Europe and all of Southeast Asia just quit buying U.S. hardwoods overnight. It is huge. It is decimating these guys. This goes on to say, this is from a Frank Stewart of West Virginia Forestry Associations. He had this to say. There is no other market to absorb the 32,025 shipping containers of American red oak that is sold to China in 2017. The tariffs have taken all the profits of U.S. hardwood exports to China. So, all across the hardwood industry, from the Pacific Northwest all the way down to West Virginia and in the South, all over, the hardwood industries are facing major issues right now, and a lot of these guys are starting to shut down. If you just Google mill closures, you will find a lot of these small family-owned operations are starting to cut down their production and cut off and lay off and shut down altogether. What does he go on to say here? Oh, it will drive mills out of business this year, losing jobs, and the outlets for landowners to sell their timber. So it's not just the, good Lord, it's raining hard. So I hope you guys can hear me all right. So it's not just the landowners that are getting hit with this, it's not just the mills that are getting hit with this problem of the tariffs, it's the landowners. So you can imagine there's privately owned land that sell timber to the mills. And then there's the loggers. There's the people who operate on the logging equipment. There is a lot of industry that comes from the hardwood industry and the mills that, that basically produce the stuff and ship it out of the country. Let me see. This is again from Pryor. It says, once the buyers of these sources of hardwoods Oh, okay, right. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I wrote it all down, and I can't even read my own handwriting here or what I wrote down. But once the buyers of these sources of hardwood, they will be awfully hard to get back. So what he was saying, I think I took it wrong there, but what he is saying is that once the buyers of hardwood have found another buyer of them, of the hardwoods, you can't just get it back. It's like, oh, hey guys, we had a slowdown here a little bit ago, but we're up and running again. Can we go ahead and start selling to you again? They're like, sorry, man, we're already buying from the Ukraine and Russian and these other illegal sources, probably getting a better deal from those guys anyway. So no, we don't need you anymore. So once those industries are gone, you don't just get them back. They're gone. That's it. They found other sources and you're done. Now, what I found interesting in this article is they went on to say that the USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, had a $1.6 billion trade aid, and of that, $5 million, of that $1.6 billion, $5 million was to be used for promotional use only, and this is for the hardwood industry, for promotional use only. I guess that's what, advertising? So I guess that's more of a benefit for advertising than it is for the hardwood industry, because they had to share that with the softwood and the plywood industry as well. So, hardwood industry, it's in crisis. Uneducated economist, you guys let me know.